What to read? I'm Gerard Saylor of the LD Fargo Public Library in beautiful downtown Lake Mills, Wisconsin. Here's two books you might be interested in. First up is Harlan Coben's The Woods. I listened to this on audio. I finished listening to it about 2 weeks ago. It was pretty good. The plot features Paul Copeland. He's the head prosecutor in Essex County, New Jersey. And 20 years ago, when he was about 17, his whole family, his sister, mom, and dad, were all working at a summer camp. And in the middle of the night, his sister and three other kids snuck off into the woods when Copeland was actually supposed to be guarding the woods and stopping anybody from doing it. And after they went into the woods, two of them were viciously murdered in a knife attack, and the other two, a boy and Copeland's sister, disappeared, never to be found again. And 20 years later, Copeland gets a call from Manhattan detectives asking him to come identify a body. He goes down to the morgue and sees a body, and he recognizes that it's the boy who's been missing the past 20 years. And he's been alive the past 20 years, hiding out. And so Copeland's first thought is, well, where's my sister? Is she still alive? Copeland's had kind of a rough life. I mean, his sister went and disappeared. His dad recently died. His wife died 5 years previously of a really nasty bout with cancer. And shortly after his sister disappeared, his mom ran away. And at times, Copeland came across really whiny in the narration. I didn't like him very much, but the characters are all really well drawn. They're all very vivid and exact, and he has several in there that you deal with, like kind of like maybe 6 main characters that he covers, and you understand them all really well. And I think Coben really does a good job there. But even more than that, I think the plotting is really well done. It's not at all where I expected it to end. It was a very satisfying ending. It wasn't cheap, kind of thrown together slapdash. And throughout the novel, he lays a lot of red herrings along the line, some that are pretty obvious about the kind of figure aren't going to pan out. But through some other discussions, I was getting other ideas about what might be going on, and I was completely wrong. But Coben does a really good job with that one. The next one is Michael Chabon, the Yiddish Policemen's Union. Our copy's missing or stolen, and so I did a little printout there. This was also really good. Chabon is a bit of a literary darling, and I don't like to say that because it's a bit of a slur, but this is a really good book. My problem was that since he is like this literary god to some people, the first half of the book I was constantly distracted because I was looking for symbolism and deeper meaning behind everything instead of just enjoying what is a really well plotted and well done story. This is set in modern-day Sitka, Alaska, which in 1941, according to this one, was a settlement for Jewish refugees from Europe. And so it has this alternative history thing going on there. Like, for instance, there's no Israel after World War II. The small state of Israel was defeated in 1948, and there's some other things like World War II went on longer. There's a weaker Soviet Union. And none of that really matters, because it's all set in Alaska, featuring Meyer Landsman, who's an alcoholic homicide detective. He's been divorced a few years. He lives in a flophouse hotel. And the whole Jewish settlement there is about to be reverted over to control of the United States. And so everything is really in flux. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Everybody's looking to try to get a green card or try to emigrate to another country, go into Australia or Europe, or one character goes to Madagascar. And Meyer, he's just stuck in this funk of depression and booze. And in the middle of the night, the night manager comes and gets him and says that there's a body downstairs. And so he goes 2 floors down, and there's a guy who's been shot in the back of the head, and Meyer takes on the case. And nobody really wants to do any of this police work because in 2 months everything's going to go over to the U.S. and what does it really matter? Besides, he was just a bum in a flophouse hotel, real ratbag place where Meyer is living. And his boss, his ex-wife, wants everything cleaned off the table as far as open cases because she wants to look really good when the U.S. attorney comes in and takes over the police department so that she can keep her job. And he does a great job with the setting as far as just the location. And also, you know, everybody speaks Yiddish, which is a real hassle because he uses a lot of Yiddish slang and language, and sometimes you feel like you have to have a Yiddish-English dictionary, but, you know, after, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the way through, I stopped worrying about it so much. And so the murder case goes along, and he did a really good job with the plotting too. Like I said, this alternative history thing, that got something in the press there because it's kind of a science fiction or fantasy plot line that you see. And it's really irrelevant. It's just a really good mystery novel. And there's actually a really good, a very brief but really well written action scene where Landsman gets in a shootout, and it was incredibly vivid, I thought, from Landsman's point of view. And I was really impressed by that when I read that Chabon did that. And so anyway, when I was looking around, I couldn't find our copy. Like I said, it's missing. And so I just found a printout that I could hold up for the camera. I found some other things when I was doing that, like here's Alex Zobel, class of 2008 from Dickinson College and University in, I don't know, Ohio. And the poster was really nice, but then it had a plug by her for the novel. And what I like to do is I like to get different views on what people think about books rather than just my own mouth here, but I can't get anybody to do it on camera. But she had this about the book. To be honest, I chose the Yiddish Policemen's Union over any other Michael Chabon book because his name appears largest on the cover of this book, and that's what I want students to see. It does not matter which of his titles students pick up as long as they read something by Michael Chabon. Just when I think that my love affair with I assume letters, has come to an anticlimactic end, Chabon comes out with something that renews my faith in storytelling. More broadly, Chabon is crusading to keep exciting genres from being marginalized by so-called literary fiction with its quiet epiphanies and obsessive navel-gazing. Michael Chabon is fighting the good fight and restoring the plot to contemporary American fiction, and I love him. So, there you go. She loves him. But this ties into what I said earlier. You know, don't get distracted by somebody who wins a Pulitzer. He won a Pulitzer Prize for something, and he wins all these other awards. And he's just a good writer, so you don't have to worry about the literary nonsense that some writers put into it. And also, while I was at it looking for pictures, I found a picture of Chabon. There it is. He really needs a haircut. Now he needs to shave. Now he's wearing his glasses. Now he's smoking a cigar and wearing sunglasses. And now he's a bat hanging upside down from the roof. Michael Chabon, the Yiddish Policemen's Union, and Harlan Coben's The Woods. These are both really recent books within a year and a half. We got this one, for instance, from Coben in April 2007. They're really good. They should be on the shelf or order them up, and that's what's to read.